Hello all, welcome to my YouTube channel and this video. In this video I'm going to talk about the difference between principles and discipline. So without wasting time, let's get started. So principles are kind of like the ethical structure that a person or maybe a group is having. So principles are kind of rules that you have to follow, maybe because of the morality or other circumstances, or you may just need to have some thing that you need to follow in the ethical manner. So let me give you an example. So let's say you are having a principle of not cheating in the exam, or maybe not chewing tobacco. These principles may vary from person to person. So let's say you do not want to chew tobacco, and if someone is forcing you, like in a friendly manner, just prompting you to have it, and you just won't have it because it is not in your principle. So these kind of ethical situations relates to the principles. And one thing about principles is that they won't change much. So let's say you're having 10 principles as of now, and from 10 years from now, then you won't be having any much changes unless there is a major environmental change or some situation have occurred due to which you needed to change so much in your principles. But that usually doesn't happen. Principles are like long term goals, and a person should have his own principles, or if he doesn't have, maybe he can follow his role models principles. So that was about principles. Now let's talk about the discipline. So discipline is again kind of rules, but they are not very much related to the ethics. So discipline is like you are having a routine, you are having a schedule, like I have to wake up at 5 a.m. every morning. So this is kind of the part of the discipline. And discipline is usually kind of change more than the principles. So I won't say that discipline is short term, but it is very less likely that you are changing principles than you're changing the let's say discipline. So number of times you have changed your principles should not be greater than the number of times you have changed the discipline, because discipline is subjective. Let's say you're waking up 5 a.m. This year, but later this year you have got some other plans, maybe some other things. Unless you do not have another plan, you can continue waking up at 5 a.m. if this makes you feel better. But in most of the cases, people usually tend to update the discipline. So it is also a kind of culprit that most people might face. And discipline is regarding just the schedule, and it also include the manners you will behave. So discipline depends on the situation, and they are getting changed frequently than principles. So let me give you an example. Let's say you're having a let's say you're doing a let's say you are having a schedule of watching TV, and you have scheduled like you will watch TV for 2 hours every day. So there are very high chances that your discipline may change if you see something more exciting on the TV, or maybe you find that something is very boring and you won't even turn on the TV. So discipline is subjective, but it should not change as frequent also. It's not like you have made a discipline and you are not able to follow it for like 4 days straight. Then you cannot consider that as a discipline. You will just consider that like by chance you were doing those activities and you did not feel like doing so, so you stopped doing it. So it is not even that short term that you'll just ignore that it exists. So that's about discipline and principles. I hope I have added some values through this content, and I hope you have found this video very insightful. And thanks again for watching this video.